Vanessa Lachey, Burning Questions. You want to take one? Mark?
Burning is such a word.
Burning.
Burning.
98 degrees. Burning.
Ooh, it's getting hot in here. Well, 98 in body temperature is regular, but 98 in like life is hot.
Burning.
Hey, I'm Vanessa Lachey.
And I'm Nick Lachey, and we are here with BuzzFeed to answer your burning questions about Love is Blind.
In a few words, how would you describe season 8? Don't hold back. Oh, the most in-depth pod season,
Yep.
I think. I'm trying not to say too much.
It's juicy, but in a different way. All the seasons are different, and this one has definitely got drama, but different drama.
It's different. It's more like internal, emotional,
Yeah.
figuring out. Yeah, it's definitely more emotionally driven.
One of my favorite seasons so far.
All right.
My question is anything forbidden from being asked while in the pods?
I think some things.
Well, I mean, forbidden, I don't think
Oh.
anything's like forbidden. Some things are maybe frowned upon. I always encourage people, ask whatever you want, and if you don't like what's being asked, then you know they're not your person, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's a good
even an inappropriate question is telling as far as who's on the other side and whether or not you have a connection with them.
That's a good point. Like, it's not so much that it's forbidden. If that's something that somebody wants to ask and you're just like, oof, and you're kind of turned off by the question, then maybe that's not the person for you.
So yeah, so I think that even bad questions can maybe even give you more insight than good questions.
Touche, Lachey.
Thank you.
Do you believe that after 8 seasons, the contestants actually come looking for marriage? Nick and I believe that when people come onto the show, they are there to find love. I feel like more so than not, we have guys who are super skeptical. They're like, listen, I can't find a girl. This isn't gonna work, whatever. And by like day 2, they're crying. I found my woman.
Never felt like this before.
She gets me. And we're like, yes, because they genuinely are in it to find that person, not realizing that they're also gonna find a lot about themselves. And yeah, we do, unfortunately, some seasons, some people slip through the cracks that are there for ulterior motives, but I think that those actually rear their ugly head pretty quick on. You can tell when someone is genuine or if someone's there just to try to further their agenda.
Leads me to an interesting follow-up question,
Okay.
which is, are you involved in the contested casting process at all? And the answer to that is we
No.
are not.
We are not. Season 1, Nick and I were very involved with the show, but in realizing that when it kind of took on its own beast of what it is, it's about their journey. Their journey without us, their journey without the outside world, their journey without noises. It's how they navigate that.
We host the show clearly, but we are captive audience at the same time. Like we're along for the ride, and it's every season's been different. Every season's been exciting in its own way.
Which couple were you the most surprised were together in the pods? You know what? We get surprised a lot, not just by the pods, but then by the journey. I mean, I remember vividly like one of the couples going up and him saying, I don't. And I was like, what? I think that the beauty is a lot of times they're surprised as well. They go for people they don't normally go for. They're finding that those don't matter because they found their person. And so it's really beautiful to see that journey unfold for them. It's always surprising for us to see the end result just as much as it is for the viewer.
Who were you not surprised to see break up? In season 4 in Seattle, Zach was torn between Bliss and Irina, and ultimately chose Irina to propose to. And I think we all watching were like, no, Bliss is much more your person.
Cup of tea and your
And
person.
he realized very quickly on the getaway that Irina was not his person and he had made a mistake. And I think what was special about that moment is, you know, he didn't waste any time in correcting it. He knew he had made a mistake and he righted the ship, and here they are married years later with a brand new baby. So
I love that you said righted the ship because he proposed to her on a boat.
aha.
Do you root for certain couples while filming? Absolutely. I mean, we're human. It's like that water cooler talk. As we're watching, we're like, man, I really dig this couple. I'm really hoping that this works out for them and that nothing comes and derails it. Because ultimately, the show isn't to be salacious. It's for people to find love, to find their person, to learn more about themselves where they can become more whole, meet that person that's learned about themselves, and together you guys can make a beautiful couple.
Do you have favorite couples from each season? If so, who are they? Barnett, for whatever reason, was just my guy. I related to him, and to see him still happily married to Amber years later, and now they're expecting their first child.
I don't know that I identify when I like a couple. I like their love. You know what I mean? Like right now we're watching and there's a couple that I don't necessarily think that we identify with, but we like their love and the way that they talk to each other and the way she was even like, no one's ever spoken to me like this. And she's like, I really love it. Thank you. And it's just really beautiful to see them grow in this love world. Which city has been the most fun to film in and why? For us, it was Atlanta. Like that was season 1. So the show was 8 weeks, top to bottom. We were there through it all. So we got to see them when they came out of the pods. We got to interview them. We had intimate conversations with them. We were at their weddings. And then ultimately just realized, the producers and Netflix realized, this is about the couple's journey and we don't need Nick and Vanessa inserting themselves in all of these situations. They have to figure it out themselves. So for us, it was Atlanta because it was the first. It's like you never forget your first. We would come back from filming. I would be with the women, he'd be with the men, and we would sit down in the lobby bar and just
Well, and we truly
talk
lived.
for hours.
We truly lived in that city.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anywhere that you would like future seasons of the show to be filmed? I say, like Bali. I've heard there's a lot of singles in Bali. Every city has its own personality, right?
Yes.
And every season feels different based on where we are.
And what goes on in the city in the dating world, you know, like DC, everyone was like all about the hustle and the work mentality, and every city has their dating obstacles that they bring to the show, which makes it unique. What's a question you would ask to find someone compatible in the pods? Ooh, what would you ask me? It's hard to think
How do
of
you
just
see your future? Where do you want to be in 5 years? You know, where do you want to be in 10 years? And does that mesh with what I see myself doing in 5 years?
That's a good one.
No. Did I pass?
You did.
All right.
I'll marry you. Which of your celebrity friends would make the best contestant? Do we have celebrity friends?
The ones we do are all married.
They're
so
all married.
They're off the,
I
they're
know.
off the
Like
table.
I'm thinking of a couple, and I'm not going to say their names because then their spouse is going to be like, I beg your pardon. No, but it's really fun to know when people love the show. And like I was watching, you know, Zendaya was like, I love Love is Blind. And then, you know, Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber are like, this is one of our guilty pleasures. And you're just like, wow, like everyone's human. Everyone just wants to see love and wants to see the trials and tribulations of love. And this is a guilty pleasure for a reason. So it's pretty cool to be a part of.
Yeah. Can you spill about some other couples who secretly matched that weren't shown on the final cut of the show?
That's always a fascinating
What's
one.
interesting about that question is we really don't know. We don't typically know about that if it does happen. So
Season 1, they had so many matches, and they're like, we actually don't have enough camera crew, so they had to pick. And that's hard because you don't know. And it genuinely became, who are we picking to follow? And there were some other couples that they didn't pick to follow that we kept in touch with via Instagram to find out that they are dating or that they aren't.
well, and like last season, you saw like Brittany and Leo, right, who were such a big part of the pod story, but then weren't followed outside of the pods because they didn't connect.
Is there any behind the scenes drama that didn't make it on the show that you can share? Oh, there's always drama. Sometimes we don't share just because for the safety of the people and their emotions. This is their life.
I think the one thing that we always try to remind ourselves of, and it's important that everyone continues to remember, is that at the end of the day, these are
their
people's, and
lives.
this is real life, and this is real marriage, and these are real families, and so we always try to remind ourselves of that, to be sensitive to the fact that these people have to go on and live their lives no matter what is shown on TV or not shown on TV.
You two dated for years before getting married. If you had met through this show instead with its accelerated timeline, do you think you would have made the same choice? That's actually funny because we've never been asked the accelerated timeline. Do you know
yeah,
what I
but
mean?
we're both
We
we're
knew
both
what we wanted.
adventurous. Yeah, we would have gone for it, I think. We would have done it.
Touche.
Yeah. How did you know it was the right time to propose to Vanessa? Ooh. Well, because she told me.
I
it was
gave
the
him
right
an
time.
ultimatum.
She told me it was the right
Now
time.
streaming
to get
on
married.
Netflix, seasons 1, 2, 3.
No, it was definitely dated for about 5 years.
For about, it was 5 years.
So we had definitely put in the work and spent enough time together. It was definitely either, hey, are we moving forward here, or are we, is this just a fun 5 years and we move on? So she articulated it much better to me.
We got really comfortable, and I always said I wasn't going to be a type of woman to give an ultimatum, but I started the conversation more frankly. I'm like, what are we doing? We were just like skirting around the issue of marriage and, wanting to have a family, but we never were doing anything about it. So I was like, is this really what we want? And he's like, this is what I want. I'm like, me too. So what are we doing? And he's like, that's a good question. What are we doing? Why am I like holding back? What am I afraid of? And I'm like, I don't know. What are you afraid of? What am I afraid of? So it just started the conversation.
Yeah.
But it was a loose ultimatum. I was like, if we don't think we're moving forward, maybe we should not be together.
It was an ultimatum.
Okay.
It was a not so loose one.
My last question. 8 seasons in, what's been the biggest learning curve you've experienced with hosting a reality dating show? For us, it's been really beautiful to be able to, at the reunions, really have these intimate conversations and moments. And our reunions usually go average, probably 5 hours. I tend to get really empathetic, and I tend to want to shy away from asking some questions that may seem invasive, but ultimately that's, we're trying to get at, hey, why did you do this? And what do you think about that? And why did you say this? And really getting them to open up. It's been really a learning curve for both of us because it's not people in the industry. These are not people who wanted to be. Some of these people are like, I don't even want to be on TV. I just really wanted to find love,
Are there any changes you would like to see made to Love is Blind?
Changes.
I'm gonna go with the if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
True. What we would like to see, maybe not change, but evolve. We would love to see like an older generation Love is Blind because that is the biggest question we get stopped all the time. When are you going to do one for, 50 and 60? Like, when are you going to let us have a chance? And I'm like, this is a great idea. Let's get on it. So Netflix, you heard it here first. Let's work on our silver foxes. But we joke about what we would call it. Love is Blinder.
Love is, what was it earlier? Love has cataracts?
Love has cataracts. But thank you guys for the questions.
Yeah.
Amazing questions. We always love hearing from you all. Keep watching and keep loving Love is Blind, and we will keep bringing you more seasons.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. And remember, Love is Blind Season 8 streaming right now on Netflix.